realize it was going to be the equinox, and that just seems so perfect. What a wonderful synchronicity, because new beginnings is what I'm here to tell you about. In fact, I always expect I'm going to shock, and I'm sorry, I've got news for you, and I hope you can handle it. So, as they say, buckle up. Here's what I got to tell you. You are not a Homo sapien. If you are watching this, if you can hear this and engage in it, you are not a Homo sapien. What people used to think of as human beings, I'm sorry, let it go. I was going to say, hey, it's not a terrible thing to be different. I was going to say it's not a terrible thing to be a Homo sapien. Some of my best friends are Homo sapiens, but guess what? I realized, no, most of my best friends are not Homo sapiens, although they were probably raised by them. One of my parents is a Homo sapien. But here's the good news, how it's perfect to say it on the vernal equinox when we think of a new beginning. The time of Homo sapiens is ending. They've been around for about, some say 150 to 300,000 years. Because we're speaking about evolution, it's definitely so that the change has been gradual. And I'm really, honestly speaking, I'm done. I'm done with Homo sapiens. Bless their hearts. But not only is it time for them to go, but what's really outrageous is that this is not the first time that there has been more than one species of human on the planet. Even now, most of us carry some amount of Neanderthal in us, or Denisovin. There are other things that we also already carry. And the truth is that I'm okay sharing the planet with Homo sapiens. I just hope that they can learn and be present with us and know that they are still within us. So as they go gracefully into the good night of evolutionary change, we love them all the same. Let me tell you about Homo sapiens and why it's okay that that era is ending. A lot of the things that you think of as being human behaviors, those are Homo sapien behaviors. Examples? In fact, I actually call upon you, invite you to observe Homo sapien behavior, notice it, and notice the new age, the new era. We don't even have a name yet for what comes next, okay? But I promise I'll get to that. So, a Homo sapien when you see one? That's the person in the parking lot at the supermarket who puts their shopping cart, not only they don't return it to where it goes, they put it in the handicapped parking space. That's some Homo sapien behavior. Karening, people who Karen, who feel that they need to call the police on children selling water. That is Homo sapien behavior. War, bless us, conquest, that is Homo sapien behavior. I'm gonna tell you something straight up, because I can speak as a person of color and I can speak as a human or what comes next. If you look at what's going on in terms of the war on our planet, the fact that, and this, if you're what comes next, part of what you're called to do and what you get to do is look at things without the varnish on them. Look at them and observe them for what they truly are, because you can handle doing that, okay? So people are online talking about the fact that while they were loving and wishing well to the people in the Ukraine, they also notice that there are news people. What is it? The Prince of England, the William, actually said, "Oh, that's what happens that doesn't happen in Europe to nice people, basically. It happens in other places like Syria, Gaza, Africa, Asia." And the world can now look at that and go, did you really say that you think it's okay for people to suffer in other parts of the world, but now that it's happening in Europe, we should all do something about it? Don't worry, because I'm not a Homo sapien, I want the people of the Ukraine to be well and joyful. I want everyone safe and well and joyful. That's a post-Homo sapien attitude. But I can also look at what's going on there and go, wait a minute. We want to help save you and we sympathize. But you're actually pushing brown people off of the trains and not letting them flee for their lives? You have the heart to be racist in the middle of a war? That is critically perfect examples, a critically perfect example of being a Homo sapien. We want to be on your side. You're running for your life, but you can be lethally racist and keep students from leaving your country, even knowing that you're putting them in harm's way. As one student said, I got on the train to leave the Ukraine, and the woman in the train was not only talking badly about me being there taking up space, she was doing it while she was holding her dog. So she was okay with her dog getting away from the war, but not okay with me. That is part of why I'm okay with Homo sapiens going gently into that good night. And honestly, I don't need them to go in some horrific anything. It's okay if they're here as long as possible, well and joyful. We'll take good care of them because as non-Homo sapiens, that's what we do. Okay. And what I love is that we can see evolution because indeed it takes place over time. And so we have these phrases from earlier generations, from millennia old already. I believe it is a Buddhist phrase, perhaps it is Hindu, I don't know exactly. I know it is a new human phrase. May all beings be well. May all beings be safe and joyful. In African culture, there is the phrase, the word Ubuntu. Perfect example. Some brilliant scholar, I don't know, anthropologist goes to a little village and he gives all the toys or the fruit or something desirable to like one group of children because he wants to see, perhaps they're going to fight over it, what's going to happen. And he was amazed that the children said, oh, great, thanks. And then they sat down and shared it with everyone. That is Ubuntu. That is what comes next. That is loving kindness. Let me give you some other examples of our evolution. Did you know that humans are losing their wisdom teeth? We don't need them anymore. We probably won't have them much longer. I wouldn't have minded if I had been born without them, I assure you, because getting rid of them are pinky toes because we don't need them anymore. There's a thing on our ear, a little thing that's a little thicker, that they call it the Darwin Tubercle, I think it is. That is shifting. It comes from when we used to be able to move our ear to hear better out in the wild. So evolution happening is a real thing. I'm not making it up, okay? We're losing the ability to grip with our toes because we're not climbing, because us climbing trees is a long time ago and we don't need to grip things with our toes as much. Okay, they're saying that being neurodivergent, autism spectrum, frankly, being psychic and being frankly comfortable with being psychic, these may also be signs of the next evolutionary step. I think that loving kindness as a, well, of course, and why not concept is part of what comes next. There is this phrase amongst some people that they must do what they can to protect their families and the future of their children and women. I want their children and women to be fine too. But the thing that we're understanding is, which I think is what comes next, is the best way to be certain that you safeguard the safety and well-being of your children and your family is to make sure that all children and all families are safe and well. Because if you make sure that all families are safe and well, that's going to include your family too. It is the subtlety of such an understanding and then being able to embrace it that marks the difference, that marks the next step. So here's some fun for you. Here are some of the phrases that they're thinking to use for the next round of human evolution. Homo stellarum, people of the stars. Homo nouveau, new human. I kind of dig that. Homo superior, Cosmosapiens. Sign me up, I like it. Homo novissimo, Humana Futurist. Now mark this one, because instead of homo, where we were saying man of, it's time to move forward so truly that even our language shifts and we're saying Humana Futurist, human of the future. Humana Universalis, those who understand we are universally one and connected. Humana Connexus, that we're connected. But here's one for you. How about we stop even using Latin? We step just that step further forward, that we don't even call ourselves using the same languages we used to. Now, the one I'm digging right now and still getting my mouth around comes from Swahili. It is binadamu, human, umoja, unified human. Kushikamana. I mean, honestly speaking, I like just the thought of we're using new languages, we're reaching into across our languages to come up with new terms for ourselves. And the thing that I think is most wonderful is that if we're thinking in terms of loving kindness, just that simple flex marks the new Humana. I'm not sure, how's that said again? Binadamu. I don't know. I think it's fun to think of what language we might use for calling ourselves what comes next. Maybe something from the most ancient languages. And I invite you to observe not only the Homo sapiens around you, I invite you to observe yourself as well. Mine would probably be a slight degree of road rage that occurs, when someone doesn't drive intelligently near me. I find that I must get a grip, bring it back, calm down, don't be so upset. That, it's like I was raised by Homo sapiens. Look at the way we love each other. Look at the way that people around the world are using, for example, what is happening in the Ukraine, not to make them so wrong, but to go, this time we can say, yes, invading people is really wrong. Yes, invading all people is wrong. How about that? How about don't do it in Gaza? Don't do it to the Palestinians. Don't do it to the Afghanis. People are saying, oh, wait, if you can put up billions of dollars to save these people and help them, if we can use billions of dollars for war efforts not related to them, it would be okay if we use billions of dollars for positive efforts, for healing our planet. What if, instead of there being a military industrial complex, our military becomes a thing of the past, just like when we're looking at a movie that's about, war during the Middle Ages. And we're like, that's what used to happen. And now we're looking at the things more recent and going, oh, that's the way it used to be. Now our national forces get together and put out fires, build bridges, go where there's a landslide, go where there's an earthquake. We still have uses for groups of people in really cool uniforms, but now it's helping. Our businesses now heal things that we messed up. We're not even upset Oh, we're not even like the example that they use in South Africa where they had the reconciliation meetings, and so as opposed to just trials and war crimes. They're like, okay, you acknowledge what you did and now we heal from it. That becomes the future of our behavior. And it says to us that by being the people of loving kindness, my personal tribe, the loving kind as I call them, we heal our planet, we love each other, we resolve our issues and consider resolving them without war. Like, we don't even think in those terms yet. Becoming a people who solves problems peacefully. That seems so amazing and strange is a conversation about our evolution all by itself. That it's possible that we are here considering it, that you're sitting still for me talking about it. That is part of our evolution. And the most amazing thing is that when we start to see ourselves as one with each other, see ourselves as united, marvelously contributing to our oneness, our universal oneness, heaven knows it makes our planet better. It makes our planet safer. It makes our future gorgeous. It makes it the fun we're having as opposed, and the problems we're solving and the things we're healing as opposed to the things we're fighting over. Someone said that just a few of our billionaires have enough money to make sure that no one is hungry ever again. What a time we're in where that's even something to consider. I wouldn't mind being one of those billionaires that brings healing, that can see that there's more money to be made healing things and solving things than breaking them up. I'd be impressed to be the part of that. And while I hope that we will always have room for more growth, while we embrace those who came before us and are still with us, I'm thinking retirement homes for Homo sapiens, maybe not, but that there's room lovingly for all of us here on the planet, and that becomes what our world is like. I guess I compliment those who already embrace their psychic abilities, their ability to be okay with diversity. Not only okay with diversity, but enjoy diversity. Wouldn't it be boring if everybody looked the same, wore the same things, did the same things? This thing, the Great Resignation, where people are like, yeah, no, I'm not working for zero money and lousy hours anymore. That a whole bunch of people are doing that. That's some, I don't know, what are we going to call ourselves next? That's some what comes nextness. And I celebrate it. And I'm here for the party. And I hope that we will get to see it in our time. And, pick a name. I think I'm liking Cosmosapiens. I'm digging that because we get the whole cosmos as well. And that's really what I wanted to say. We are part of what comes next. We are observing what comes next. We embrace in loving kindness all of life on this planet, all of life everywhere. We understand that we are one with everything, that it is okay to have joy and well-being, abundance, justice, and peace, and also to be psychic and intuitive. What a world it could be. And I think that this is a time for that rebirth to be noticed, that we are the doulas, the midwives of what comes next by being loving kindness ourselves, even as our world goes through changes. And the changes we're going through, they're not apocalyptic. They are the birth pains of a new world. Dramatic, let me tell you, if you've ever given birth, let me tell you, labor pains are dramatic, okay? But they are indeed the sensations, the changes that absolutely betoken a new and joyful world. And when the party is thrown, I hope to see you there. Blessings.